Episode 377. It was early morning, and the internet cafe was nearly empty. Yeshu found a random seat, swiped his card, and logged into the game. The moment he logged in, a message from Steamed Bun Invasion popped up.
Boss, what's going on here? How come you're all level 37 or 38 all of a sudden overnight?
Bowsy followed up the message with 8 consecutive crying loudly emojis.
The Christmas event. Where have you been the last couple of days?
I was doing the Christmas event too.
Huh? I didn't see you log in.
Why would I log in? Me and a few buddies drank all day the day before yesterday. Got completely wasted. I slept all day yesterday. And today when I log in, the game's just different? Just how many days did I sleep? Wait, what's the date today?
So Steamed Bun Invasion's Christmas event was an in-person one.
There's a Christmas event in the game. Leveling super fast. We all leveled up from it.
Really?
For a holiday like this, the game usually has an event.
Yeshu thought Steamed Bun Invasion was a veteran player. He shouldn't have been unaware of this.
Surprised. Oh, right. How could I forget that?
Steamed Bun Invasion had a sudden realization, looking as if he'd just lost both parents.
Then keep practicing.
The gap had already widened. What more could Yexu say?
Boss, I'll give you my number. Next time there's an emergency like this, you just call me.
Sure.
Yeshu agreed, jotting down the phone number Steamed Bun Invasion tossed his way. Then he let the guy go off, sobbing to do his leveling. Yeshu opened Lord Grimm's inventory, saw the Christmas gift inside, and casually unwrapped it. Satisfied, the flash of light faded, and Lord Grimm's Christmas gift yielded points and experience rewards nearly identical to Soft Mist's. And with that, Lord Grimm rose to level 38. On top of that, he also received a broadcast-worthy reward, a level 40 orange weapon, the Shadow's Claw. Claw weapons fall under the Brawler class, and are typically favored by the Brawler profession. As an orange-tier weapon, the Shadow Claw's stats are, of course, top-notch. However, it had no direct use for Yeshu's upgrade of the Myriad Manifestations umbrella. Yeshu immediately sent a message to Steamed Bun Invasion, showing him the stats of the Shadow Claw.
Ah, boss.
Keep leveling up. It's yours once you hit 40.
Yeah, I'm on it.
Yakshu closed the chat window. Lord Grimm was still in Sin City. At level 38, this was no longer a high-level zone for him. But his inventory was completely full, and the heavy load meant he had to stop and sort things out. After returning to the main city of Kongji, he headed straight for the warehouse. On the way, Yexu had to stay alert, keeping an eye out for any special attention from the major guilds. Don't let yesterday's Christmas event fool you. That cozy, cooperative atmosphere was a thing of the past the moment the clock struck midnight. Back to business as usual. Weren't those guilds rivals to each other as well? Last night's collaboration between the 12 guilds went off without a hitch, but that one joint effort was never going to turn Bluebrook Guild and Herb Garden into allies. And in the eyes of the major guilds, Yekyu had returned to being the guy who would snatch their dungeon records. Especially now that Lord Grimm's level is on par with theirs. That's bound to make them even more anxious. But after Yekshu's careful observation along the way, he found nothing out of the ordinary for now. Back at the warehouse, he sorted through the materials. Satisfies. At level 38 now, the Myriad Manifestations umbrella is ready for another upgrade. Yeshu directly imported all the necessary materials into the equipment editor. But even with his extensive stockpile, the materials needed to upgrade the Myriad Manifestations umbrella. For the missing parts, he might need to make a trip to the market, or perhaps look into his strategy guide business. Yeshu thought to himself, then opened the dungeon record rankings. What he saw there truly shocked him. The current dungeon records for One Line Gorge and Blazing Forest are downright terrifying. The new record for the One Line Valley dungeon had smashed the one set by Misty Rain using the guide they bought from Yasu by a full 2 minutes. The guild that set the new record was Tyrannical Ambition. While they also had Yexu's guide, he knew exactly how far that guide could take them. Yet the record Domineering Glory just set had already surpassed the absolute limit of what Yexu's guide could achieve. Yeshu had no idea how they'd pulled it off. Then, looking at the dungeon record for Blazing Forest, the guild currently holding the top spot was Lanxi Pavilion. Yeshu had already started studying this dungeon, and Lanxi Pavilion's record was just as absurdly high. And it wasn't just the top record on this leaderboard that was mind-blowing. there were over a dozen more entries below it, each one enough to leave Yoshu utterly speechless. Clearly, the Blazing Forest dungeon was the main battleground where the major guilds had been competing during the event, and the sheer height of these dozen-plus records was something Yeshu could scarcely imagine. During the Christmas event, players were focused on the activities, and the system was constantly broadcasting messages as people opened gift packs. Yeshu was so focused that he hadn't noticed the sheer number of dungeon records that had been set in those 36 hours, realizing the Christmas event. At that moment, Yeshu suddenly understood. The reason for all these new records appearing was this special window of time, the Christmas event. Just like how Tang Ru's Soft Mist had acquired Battle Spirit, the guild's teams that pulled off such stunning records had clearly taken advantage of the Christmas event to acquire skills or gear they shouldn't have had at their level. This allowed them to assemble temporary, overpowered squads, which is how they managed to set records even Yoixiu hadn't anticipated. These squads would vanish after the 36 hours were up, but their records would remain. Even Yexu hadn't foreseen that. And the guild leaders, true professional players who treated their guilds as their life's work, seized this opportunity. Tyrannical ambition wiped out the record from One Line Canyon that had been a source of such deep shame for them. No one noticed at the time, but there are always ways to get players' attention after the fact. After all, it's only been 36 hours. Players aren't that forgetful, and One Line Gorge isn't that outdated yet. Meanwhile, the Blue Brook Guild, desperate to prove itself, successfully seized an opportunity in the Blazing Forest. This did much to alleviate the guild's long-standing awkward situation. Once he'd thought it through, Yexu just relaxed, shrugged it off with a laugh. These two dungeons clearly had no more value to offer. As he thought this, Yishu casually clicked open the record list for the City of Sin dungeon to take a look.